the dimpled dawn of the amber fount, dip the purple of passionate prayer. In the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare, the soul that startles in eyes of blue, to watch thy wantonness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarled bole of the living tree that is spirit and soul, and body and brain come over the sea. Devil or God, to me, to me. My man, come with trumpets sounding shrill over the hill. Come with drums low muttering from the spring. Come with flute and come with pipe, am I not right? I who wait and writhe and wrestle with air that hath no boughs to nestle. My body weary of empty clasp, strong as a lion and sharp as an asp. Come, oh come, I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom. Thrust the sword through the galling fetter, all devour, I'll begetter. None to pan, thrill with lissome lust of the light. Oh man, my man, come careering out of the night of Pan, from Sicily and from Arcady, roaming as Bacchus with fauns and pards and nymphs and satyrs, for thy guards on a milk-white ass come over the sea to me, to me. Come with Apollo in bridal dress, shepherdess and playfulness. Come with Artemis silken shod, and wash thy white thigh, beautiful God, in the moon of the woods on the marble mount, the dimpled dawn of the amber fount. Dip the purple of passionate prayer in the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare, the soul that startles in eyes of blue, to watch thy wantonness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarled bole of the living tree that is spirit and soul, and body and brain come over the sea. Devil or God, to me, my man, come with trumpets sounding shrill over the hill. Come with drums low muttering from the spring. Come with flute and come with pipe, am I not ripe? I who wait and writhe and wrestle with air that hath no boughs to nestle, my body weary of empty clasp, strong as a lion and sharp as an asp. Come, oh come, I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom. Thrust the sword through the galling fetter, all devour, all begetter. Thou who art I beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun, thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone, thou the true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding, source and seed of life, love, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight. Thee I invoke, my faint fresh fire, kindling as mine intensest fire. Thee I invoke, abiding one, the center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery of which the vehicle am I appear, most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm, all female quintessential, one man being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest out of mankind that defies being that race most royally run, to spring sunshine through winter storm. Glory and worship be to thee, sap of the world as wonder tree. Glory to thee from gilded dawn, glory to thee from waiting warm, glory to thee from earth unplugged, glory to thee from virgin vow, glory to thee, true unity of the eternal Trinity. Glory to thee, thou siren dam, and self of I am that I am. Love is the law, love under will. Thou art I, beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun, thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone, thou the true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding, source and seed of life, love, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight. Thee I invoke, my faint fresh fire, kindling as mine intensest fire. Thee I invoke, abiding one, the center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery of which the it is the norm. Male, female, quintessential one. Man being veiled in woman form. Glory and worship in the highest. Thou dove, mankind that defiest. Being that race most royally run to spring sunshine through winter storm. Glory and worship be to thee, sap of the world as wonder tree. Glory to thee from gilded tall. Glory to thee from waging war. Glory to thee from earth unplumbed. Glory to thee from virgin blood. Glory to thee, true unity of the eternal Trinity. Glory to thee, that sire and dam, and self of I am, that I am. Love is the law, love under will. Thou art I, beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun. That hidden spring of all things known and known, aloof, alone, thou, the true fire will read, creed and breeding source and seed of life, love, liberty, and light, and beyond speech, and beyond sight, I invoke my faint, fresh fire kindling as mine intends aspire thee. I invoke abide again. The center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery of which could be appear most awful and most mild, as it is awful in thy shadow of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit. Is the non-really female quintessential And self of I am that I am. Love is the law, love under will. Gymnastic beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun, thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone, thou the true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding source and seed of life, love, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight, thee I invoke my faint fresh fire, kindling as mine intensest fire, thee I invoke abiding one, thee center and secret of the sun, and that not holy mystery, of which the vehicle am I. Up here, most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the non-female quintessential one, them being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest, thou doth mankind that defiest, being thy race most royally run, to spring sunshine through winter storm, glory and worship be to thee, sepulchre wallish, wonder tree, glory to thee from gilded town, glory to thee from waiting wall. Glory to thee from waiting wall. Glory to thee from waiting wall. Glory to thee from earth's dawn around. Glory to thee from virgins out. Glory to thee, true unity of the eternal Trinity. Glory to thee, the Zion and self of I am that I am. Love is the law, love under will. Thou art I, sun. Thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou alone, thou the true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding, source and seed of life, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight, thee I invoke my faith, fresh fire, kindling as mine intense aspire. Thee I invoke, abiding one. The center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery, of which the vehicle am I, appear most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm, male, female, quintessential one. Man being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest. Thou dove, mankind that deifiest, being that race most royally run, to spring sunshine through winter storm, glory and worship be to thee, sap of the world, ash, wonder tree, glory to thee from gilded tomb, glory to thee from waiting womb. beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun. Thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding, source and seed of life, love, liberty, and light. Thou beyond speech and beyond sight, thee I invoke my faint fresh fire, kindling as mine intensest fire. Thee I invoke, abiding one. Thee, center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery of which the vehicle and I appear most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm, male, female, quintessential one, man being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest, thou dove, mankind that deifiest, being that race most royally run to spring sunshine through winter storm. Glory and worship be to thee, sap of the world, ash, wonder tree. Glory to thee from gilded tone, glory to thee from waiting warm, glory to thee from earth uncloned, glory to thee from virgin bowed, glory to thee true unity of eternal Trinity. Glory to thee, thou sire and dam and self of I am that I am. Love is the law of underwind.
beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun. Thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone, thou the true fire within the reed, ruling and breeding, source and seed of life, love, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight. Thee I invoke, my faith, fresh fire, kindling as mine intense aspire. Thee I invoke, abiding one, the center and secret of the sun. Of the sun. Of the sun. And that most holy mystery, of which the vehicle am on, appear most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm, male, female, quintessential one, man being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest, above mankind that defies, being that race most royally run, to spring sunshine through winter storm. Winter storm. Glory and worship be to thee, step of the world, ash wonder tree. Glory to thee from gilded tomb, glory to thee from waking dawn, glory to thee from earth unclothed, glory to thee from virgin vowed, glory to thee true unity of the eternal Trinity, glory to thee thou sire and dam, and self of I am, that I am. Lord is the Lord of underwind. Mystic and tender, thou who art I beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou center and secret of the sun, thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone, thou the true fire within the reed, ruling and breeding, source and seed of life, love, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight. Thee I invoke, my faint fresh fire, kindling as mine intense aspire. Thee I invoke, abiding one, the center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery of which the power of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm. Male, female, quintessential one, man being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest, out of mankind that defiest, being that race most royally run, to spring sunshine through winter storm. Glory and worship be to thee, step of the world as wonder tree. Glory to thee from gilded tomb, glory to thee from waiting womb, glory to thee from earth unplowed, glory to thee from virgin vowed, glory to thee true unity of the eternal Trinity. Glory to thee, thou scion and dam and self of I am that I am. Love is the law, love under will.
Shops act the motoring laws, Sunday suffocation, the censorship. They won't trust us to cross the roads at will. Fascism is like communism and dishonest into the bargain. The dictators suppress all art, literature, theater, music, news that does not meet their requirements. Yet the world only moves by the light of genius. The herd will be destroyed in mass. The establishment of the law of the Lima is the only way to preserve individual liberty and to assure the future of the race. In the words of the famous paradox of the Conti-Definite, the absolute rule of the state shall be a function of the absolute liberty of each individual in the world. All men and women are invited to cooperate with the Master Therian in this the great war. Shops act the motoring laws, Sunday suffocation, the censorship. They won't trust us to cross the roads at will. Fascism is like communism and dishonest into the bargain. The dictators suppress all art, literature, theater, music, news that does not meet their requirement. Yet the world only moves by the light of genius. The herd will be destroyed in mass. The establishment of the law of the Lima is the only way to preserve in the future all liberty and to assure the future of the race. In the words of the famous paradox of the Conti-Definite, the absolute rule of the state shall shall be a function of the absolute liberty of each individual will. All men and women are invited to cooperate with the Master Reborn in this, the great work. She begs in ecstasy to kiss the secret orders of Hadid, the winged globe, the starry blue, Amide, on Kafnahon soon. 15. Now ye shall know that the chosen priest, dustil of infinite space, is the prince priest, the beast. And in his woman called the scarlet woman is all power given. They shall gather my children into their fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men. 16. For he is ever a sun and she a moon. But to him is the winged secret flame, and to her the stooping starlight. 17. But ye are not so chosen. 19. But upon their brows a slenderous serpent. 19. Oh, your linen woman, bend upon them. 20. The key of the rituals is in the secret word which I have given unto him. 21. With the God and the Ador, I am nothing. Do not see me. They are as upon the earth. I am heaven. And there is no other God than me and my Lord Hadid. 22 now. Therefore, I am known to ye by my name Nuit, and to him by a secret name which I will give him when at last he knoweth me. She bends in ecstasy to kiss the secret orders of Hadid, the winged globe, the starry blue, are mine on Kafnahon soon. 15. Now ye shall know that the chosen priest, dustil of infinite space, is the prince priest, the beast. And in his woman called the scarlet woman is all power given. They shall gather my children into their fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men. 16. For he is ever a sun, and she a moon. To him is the winged secret flame, a splendorous serpent, 19 auras surely woman bend upon them. 20, the key of the rituals is in the secret wine which I have given unto him. With the God and the Jaeger I am nothing. They do not see me. They are as upon the earth. I am heaven, and there is no other God than me. And my Now, therefore, I am known to ye by my name Nuit, and to him by a secret name which I will give him when at last he knoweth me. Democracy daughters. Ferocious fascism, cackling communism, equally frauds, cavort crazily all over the globe. They are hemming us in. They are abortive births of the child, the new Aeon of Horus. Liberty stirs once more in the womb of time. Evolution makes its changes by anti-socialistic ways. The abnormal man who foresees the trend of the times and that circumsentently is laughed at, persecuted, often destroyed by the herd. But he and his heirs, when the crisis comes, are survivors. Above us today hangs a danger, never yet paralleled in history. We suppress the individual in more and more ways. We think in terms of the herd. War no longer kills soldiers. It kills all indiscriminately. Every new measure of the most democratic and autocratic governments is communistic in essence. It is always restriction. We are all treated as imbecile children. Dora. Democracy daughters, ferocious fascism, cackling communism, equally frauds, cavort crazily all over the globe. They are hemming us in. They are abortive births of the child, the new Aeon of Horus. Liberty stirs once more in the womb of time. Evolution makes its changes by anti-socialistic ways. The abnormal man who foresees the trend of the times and adapts circumstance intelligently is left at, persecuted, often destroyed by the horde. But he and his heirs, when the crisis comes, are survivors. Above us today hangs a danger, never it, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, oh warrior, Lord of Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou added, my secret center, my heart and my core. Behold, it is revealed by I was the minister of whole heart. The calves is in the cool, not the cool in the calves. Worship and the calves, and behold, my light shall over you. Let my servants be few and secret. They shall rule the many and the known. These are fools that men adore. Both their gods and their men are fools. Come forth, the children, under the stars and take your fill of love. I am above you, and in you my ecstasy is in yours. My joy is to see your joy. Above the gemet as you reach the naked splendor of new the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior, Lord of Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou Hadid, my secret center, my heart and my tongue. Behold, it is revealed by I was the minister of Horpacroft. The cat is in the cool, not the cool in the cats. Worship them, the cats, and behold my light shed over you. Let my servants be few and secret. They shall rule the many and the known. These are fools that men adore. Both their gods and their men are fools. Come forth, the children under the stars, and take your fill of love. I am above you, and in you my ecstasy secret door that I shall make to establish thy way in all the quarters. These are the adorations, as thou hast written. Light is mine, its rays consume. I have made a secret door into the house of Ra and Tum, of Kendra and of Kafur. I am thy Devan, woman to the prophet of Nakonsu. By wisdom out my breast I beat, by wisdom I weave my spell. Show thy star splendor on it, bid me within thine house to dwell. O winged snake of light, Hades, a light with me from Nephilim. O winged snake of light, Hades, a light with me from Nephilim. Is as a sword in my hand to push thy order here. It's a secret door that I shall make to establish thy way in all the quarters. These are the adorations, as thou hast written. The light is mine, its rays consume. Appear on the throne of Ra, open the ways of the cool, lighten the ways of the calm, the ways of the calves and through. Stir me up, still me, only still me, so that thy light is in me and its red flame is as a sword in my hand to push thine order. There is a secret door that I shall make to establish thy way in all the quarters. These are the adorations, as thou hast written. As it is said, the light is mine, its rays consume me. I have made a secret door into the house of Ra and Tom of Kedran, of Ahafor. I am thy Devan, omen to the prophet and Kafna Konsu. Thy best now to my breast I beat, by wise carnage I weave my spell. Show thy star splendor on wheat, bid me within thine house to dwell. Oh, winged snake of light and heat, I've made with me a heart queen. Appear on the throne of Ra, open the ways of the calm, lighten the ways of the calm, the ways of the cats like through. Stir your stilly, all the lips fill me, so that thy light is in me and its red flame as a sword in my hand to push thine order. the skies. Another woman shall awake the lust and worship of the snake. Another soul of God and beast shall mingle in the globed priest. Another sacrifice shall stain the tomb. Another king shall reign, and blessing no longer be poured to the hawk-headed mystical Lord. By the half of the word of him, called Hur, Rahur, 36. Then said the prophet unto the God 37, I adore thee in the song. I am the Lord of thieves, and that is I, a first speaker of men too. For me unveils the veiled sky, the self-slain outcast from Sue, whose words are truth. I invoke, I greet thy presence, O Rahur Kut. Unity, supreme and terrible God, who makest the gods and death to tremble before thee.
We promise already, so
this key. Careful.
Mr. Twain well knows that reconciliation would be as agreeable to my inclinations and as advantageous to my interests as to any man. But I see no prospect for it, no probability, no possibility. And I cannot...
I adore the skies of another woman shall awake the lost and worship over the snake another soul of God and beast shall mingle in the globed priest. Another sacrifice shall stain the tomb. Another king shall reign and blessing no longer be poured to the hawk-headed mystical Lord. 35 the half of the word of Erunaho, Kol Hopakrot and Rahur Kut. 36 then said the prophet unto the God. 37 I adore thee in the song. I am the Lord of Beings and I, the inspired forsaker of Neptune. For thee a
You don't know your service to our king. Quiet! Keep it on night, in the name of God. Rise!
See Chicago Mayor looked up on there goes the Greek girls.
whose words are truth, I invoke, I greet, my presence or our own virtue, unity, eternal sure. I adore the might of thy breath, supreme and terrible God, who maintains the gods and death to tremble before thee.
Thrill with listen, lust of the light. Oh man, my man, come careering out of the night of Pan, 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 come over the sea. From Sicily and from Arcady.
Everything in the school, everything in the class is outside of maybe a project, right? Like in the real world, like you go work for a company or something like that, like you're not going to be the only engineer doing this one thing if it matters, right? You're going to be working with people in a team up. These calculations match up, and if they don't, we can figure out why. Right? That's like the real world. So all these exams where it's like, okay, here's your TI-36. You have an hour. Crunch these numbers. You better remember everything, and you can't access anything. Like that's pretty artificial, right? So again, it's not. I'm not arguing for cheating because it's like the way that we're trying to come up with confidence.
Roaming is backwards with thorns apart.
But it's not really a test that you'll be.
And nymphs and satyrs for thy guards
The project I do.
on a milk white come overseas.
Simulating that, it gives them
To
more
me.
time. They have more resources, but they're still having to show
To
what
me.
they're capable of, right? They're still having to.
Come with Apollo and bridal dress.
Shepherds and Python eggs.
Come with Artemis silken shawl.
Hello, Pro Benjamin. This is Alistair. Put me in the queue. Hello.
Oh my God. The problem with project work is it's not personalized, right? So
And wash thy white thigh, beautiful God,
that's
in the moon of the woods on the marble mounds.
that's true. But I mean, if you make the
The
project,
dimpled dawn of the amber
I
fountain.
really love their senior design project.
Dip the purple of passion and prayer.
System for drones.
In the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare. The soul that startles in eyes of blue. To watch thy wantonness into the tangled grove, the gnarled body of the living tree that is spirit and soul, and body and brain. Come over the sea, O Pan, O Pan, devil or God, to me, my man, come with trumpets sounding shrill over the hill.
But each of us had a section of the project, and the project wouldn't work it. None of us like it. We didn't.
Come with drums low muttering
Like there's 4 of us, and there was too much
from
to
the
do.
spring.
Like for instance, I did all of the microcontroller stuff with like Linux.
Come with flute and come with pipe. Am I not right? I who
Right, so the encoding, decoding, setting all that up, and all of like the.
This is fascinating, but I hate to interrupt. Aisha says that I'm useless and she wants me to leave the room, but I feel like that's, a little bit obnoxious. But anyways, Pro, great to be here in your room. Benjamin, I hope things are going well for you on the plane. Fred, love what you're saying. Good to be here, everybody.
wait and writhe and wrestle with air that has no boughs to nestle. My body weary of empty class, strong as a lion and sharp as an ass. Come, oh come, I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom.
I hate to interrupt, Fred, but I'm sorry. Are you guys talking about the title of the room? Thanks. If I could just get a quick room reset. New on stage, Alistair here.
The sword through the galling fetter, all devourer, all begetter. Give me the sign of the open eye, and the token erect of thorny thigh, and the word of madness and mystery. Oh, Pan, oh, Pan, oh, Pan. I am a man.
banquets, but that had to be done in C. You can't do that with.
So what did you use for an AFE? What did you use for the AFE?
We created for the magnetic waves. Basically, we had a magnetometer transfer.
Thou wilt as a great God can. Oh, Patty, oh, Patty, oh, Patty, oh, Pat, I am awake in the grip of the snake. The eagle slashes with beak and claw. The gods withdraw. The great beasts come. Eopan and born to death on the horn.
Hate to interrupt this fascinating conversation, but a link is in the chat. Listening to some new John Kitover band music. Sorry to interrupt, boys. Go back to the great topic conversation.
Well, the unicorn. I am Pan, oh Pan, oh Pan, Pan, Pan. I am my mate. I am thy man. Go out thy flock. I am gold. I am God. Flesh to thy bone, flower to thy rod. With hoofs of steel I race on the rocks. Through solstice stubborn to...
Sorry guys, I'm getting a lot of hate in the chat here. Aisha says that I'm useless trash and no one will miss me. Wow, thanks Aisha, thank you.
Equinox, and I rave, and I rape, and I rip, and I rend, everlasting world without end. Mannequin, maiden, maiden, man, in the might of Pan, Eopan. Pan, pan, panty, oh pan.
Well, I mean, you know, with regards to simulation theory, I think it's important to look at it from the perspective of a solipsist, because a lot of Gnostics or enlightened people who think that they're like the prima causa of the simulation, well, they're not necessarily wrong, because without your body and your brain, you couldn't experience the simulation. So it's like if you reverse engineer a solipsist and simulation theory, you might just end up with a conference call app of a bunch of faggot retard faggots like Aisha here in her thirst trap catfish photo, saying that I'm a useless piece of garbage. But it turns out that the universe is projecting you simultaneously as you project the universe. So Aisha, projection emoji mirror. I am complete.
Did he say it's a complete? My headphones breaking up.
Aisha! I am the Pan, through this unrust of the light. Oh man, my man, come careering out of the night of Pan, your Pan, your Pan, your Pan, come over the sea. From Sicily and from Arcady, Roman is Bacchus with fawns and pards, and nymphs and satyrs for thy guards, and a milk white ass, come over the sea. Nymphs and Pythoness, come with Artemis, silken shod, and wash thy white, thy beautiful God. In the moon of the woods, on the marble mount, the dimpled dawn of the amber found, dip the purple of passionate prayer in the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare, the soul that startles and eyes of blue, for watch thy oneness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarly bole of the living tree that is spirit and soul and body and brain. Come over the sea. Eopan, 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 come over the sea.
To me,
Devil or God, to me. My man, come with trumpets sounding shrill over the hill. Come with drums low muttering from the spring. Come with flute and come with pipe. Am I not right? I who wait and writhe and wrestle with air that hath no boughs to nestle my body, weary of empty clasp, strong as a lion and sharp as an axe. Come, oh come, I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom. Thrust the sword through the galling fetter, all devour, all together. Give me the sign of the open eye and the token erect, a thorny thigh and the word of madness and mystery, Eopan. Eopan, 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 I am a man. Do as thou wilt, as a great God can. Eopan, 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 Eopan. In the grip of the snake, the eagle slashes with beak and claw. The gods withdraw, the great beasts come, Eopan. I am born to death on the horn of the unicorn. I am Pan, Eopan, Eopan, Pan, Pan. I am thy mate, I am thy man. Goat of thy flock, I am gold, I am God. Flesh to thy bone, flower to thy water. Roots of steel I race on the rocks. Through solstice stubborn to equinox. And I rave and I rape and I rip and I rend. Everlasting world without end. Mannequin, maiden, maiden man in the might of Pan. Eopan, Eopan.
Hey, Hiwe, Kitesito.
He wants to know who you are. Why?
Telale, naretoke, hokotaska, chakieta. Elenekite, kesikuiki.
I ordered my warriors to shoot you. All of them. The men never miss.
Sekamika, hachimowe, neta totabe. Opowaka. Otowena li, nekite bi. Neki, ni takiwe, hoskakana, nika neskowe.
Our people have a legend. A spirit of protection that shields those chosen, those who walk in destiny.
Kila. Kompotana, kila, otowena li.
Creator chose you. You have been shielded by this spirit.
Inatomano ki, nehiwe, kitesito.
So ask again, what are you called? My name is George Washington.
Nemam, taulekta, kitesito.
I will remember this name.
with some lust of the light. Oh man, my man, come careering out of the night of pan, your pan, your pan, your pan, come on.
She's not counting other people's money.
That they are using can benefit me and my family so that I can start doing what I can do that people before me couldn't. And even as a woman, because fuck the black people shit, even as a woman who couldn't have bank accounts in 1974, oh, in 2026 I'm talking my shit. Ain't nobody stopping me from nothing. So that's what I'm saying. Don't ever get twisted and think that I'm crying about who gonna do what and why. However, I can speak from the perspective of someone who was affected. Like, I'm not mad at rich people for getting rich because I've been a part of that class that was affected when they had to pull jobs and contributions out of social services because their pockets was being hit for whatever reason. Whether it be because they was mad, whether it be because they lost money in the housing market, whether it be because of the stock market crash, jobs, or whatever. When rich people pockets are hit in any type of way, it automatically affects the lowest class of people that everybody is fighting for, trying to get rid of rich people. And so that's why I don't understand.
Can I agree with you?
Which Ronnie is saying that when rich people get a cold, poor people sneeze. I believe that's what Ronnie is saying.
You're right. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't disagree with you anymore. You're right.
And that's the thing, Ronnie. Like you said, like, I guess I'll say this about rich people. Do you want a poor person who's struggling to make payroll every week signing your check? Or do you want a really rich person signing your check? I want a fucking rich person signing my check.
Wake that up, Nick. Wake that up.
Like what was it Norm and Abby and all them were saying earlier? Like, I think that was the first thing, the reason why Donald Trump won the first time was when he was debating Hillary. And he was talking about all the loopholes and everything like that. And he used the same loopholes that she was responsible for writing and all her donors and special interests used. She could have done something about it. With it, you had Democrats controlling both houses. Why didn't they stop this? Why didn't they do anything about this? Because they don't. They talk a lot about it.
Classes, motherfuckers, poop. Because they some classes, knee on your neck, motherfuckers, poop. That's why.
You're not in the knee on your neck, motherfucking shit. And we ain't took no care over no heads. This ain't Minneapolis.
Well, Nick, to be fair, at that time, Hillary had only been in politics about 50 years, so maybe she was getting around to it.
That's
And
true.
how much did the Clinton
After her
Foundation?
husband cheated on her with a 19-year-old Jewish intern.
But Abby, yeah, no, around the Clinton Foundation, that thing is such a scam. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. I used to audit these 990s and not-for-profits, but these were legit companies. And when I used to see the salaries of them, they weren't exorbitant. But yeah, the Clinton Foundation is such a scam.
Well, I have affirmation from a good friend of mine, a Princeton economist with whom I went to high school. She went to work for the Clinton Foundation, and she confirmed what you said, that it's an utter scam, and she couldn't get out of that fast enough. It was essentially a money laundering operation. That's relevant, by the way, but that's what she said. And she's the most honest person in the world. She went on to work at the New School for Political Research because she was so appalled. And she's a Democrat like me, and she was appalled by what she saw there.
I wouldn't go near that foundation.
Yeah,
The way it was such a
Thanks for telling that, because everyone was afraid to be Republican. Even Nick, I think, does say that he's a Republican. He's an old school Democrat. But that's how we used to believe, the Kennedy Democrats. And now it's like we have weirdos that support different countries. I don't know what, like Omar, whatever the hell, from Minnesota.
No, that's just called ethnic tribalism. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is like I said, the Democrats use the same damn loopholes that everyone else, like big tech. All those guys are Democrats, and they use like Google offshores all their income to Bermuda, or the big tech haven is Ireland because it's only a 12.5% tax there. I mean, the amount of loopholes that these liberal-run companies use, I mean, they're just such hypocrites.
I guarantee you, Barbara Streisand and the crowd in Hollywood that was supporting Harris all have done elaborate estate planning, asset protection. They probably have Cook Islands. They probably have Turks. And you go through the list of how they're set up. It's
just hypocritical, just like Dick said, just like you said. They're hypocritical people that want their cake and eat it too.
It's Puerto Rico because they only have a 4% capital gains tax, and like you don't have to like renounce your U.S. citizenship. So that's becoming like a new popular island. And another island in the Caribbean is St. Kitts and Nevis. They don't have an income tax, and neither does Antigua. For the longest time, Cayman used to be the most popular place, but the fees are really expensive now in the Cayman, so they're just going to other places. So, like Tabby's point,
It's like Vegas. It's like Vegas, but now it's like Reno.
Sound like the same to me.
they're all going to take advantage of it. They're not stupid.
Territory. Yeah, actually, Nicholas eat you alive. Go ahead.
What are gonna eat you alive?
Nick, Holmes, smartest fucking guy I ever met.
Well, I like intelligence, but my friends did move to Puerto Rico.
What was all the islands you said? Puerto Rico and
Cayman, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah. St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, Dubai doesn't have an income tax. Saudi Arabia.
But that's not tax, but then also asset protection. We used to do the Cook Islands. Still do.
Hello, moderators. Moderators, I would like to make a case that structural white racism is alive and well in the big beautiful bill and all this tax evasion, which is clearly what we are discussing. Where is the
Hey, you're from North Side Chicago, right?
He's trolling. He's kidding.
I know. Hey, how you been, brother?
Demons in my ear. Sorry.
Well, then to the former African American woman who believes that when the rich get poor, she gets poor. My darling dear, you couldn't be further from the truth.
I'm pure blood American. I'm pure blood. Pure blood. Fuck out here. I don't care. Listen, I don't care about none of that shit. Okay? I don't care. Me and my white brother and sister is gonna take advantage of these goddamn tax cuts like these rich motherfuckers, and we gonna fucking say what we wanna say because that's the First Amendment, and then what we gonna say is
Can you imagine what you could do with this energy?
like, we don't care. We do not care. Like, I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life. Hey, I'm 45 fucking years old. I'm 45 years old. I'm not about to spend the rest of my life hating. I'm trying to peek in the books so I can take notes and do that shit for my family. I gotta trust for my fucking family so my shit don't gotta go through probate. Y'all worried about the wrong goddamn thing. Got those 401ks just sitting there. Got them naked ass LLCs just sitting there. That shit gonna be right in your probate, getting hit by your creditors before your family get it. Worry about yourself. I'm paying attention. I don't got time to hate if I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention and applying pressure. Because that's my right as a pure-blooded American around this bitch.
Shout out to
Shout out to the independent trust.
Yeah.
Shout out to independent trusts, right, Nick?
Are we all doing funny voices now? Is that the thing?
Io's on stage. Io, did you want to speak on anything or?
Hell yeah, for the tax cuts and all the loopholes and shit like that. Yeah, absolutely. I'll say this, that it's kind of a bit that the corporations are just able to do so much of this work. I think if just the average poor person realized that if they make a corporation, they can kind of take their cuts for taxes after their losses as opposed to beforehand. Just that little nuance right there, I think, would do a lot of people a lot of justice there, but a lot of people don't think of it as something that can pay forward. So.
Okay. Winter, you're new to the stage. Do you have anything you want to say or you good? Oh, she's always been quiet. Mon, hello, good evening.
What's up? I have something to say.
Yeah, go for it, Mon.
Pepe, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
I love you.
I love you too. too, Pepe. I love you, Pepe. We love you, Pepe. Thank you. No, not we. You gotta say I. Don't be. No. I'm not doing I. I'm doing we. You love me, everybody.
Hugs and kisses, Pepe.
Thank you. Tonight you get all the dicks you can suck, Pepe.
Not too much, not too much.
Ma, is that all you wanted to say? Or are you gonna open our hands right forward there?
He should only be allowed his fair share of penises. Save some for the girls.
Watch your mouth, not too much.
Wait, I thought you were going to say save something for the poor people. Okay, you could buy.
As a girl, I'm marginalized, so I can teeter-totter back and forth. I'm just saying, fair shares of dicks for everyone. You've got to be fair around.
I'll go ahead and move something. There's something rich people demonstrate that. As many as you can handle. Alright, this is getting a little weird. I don't know, where do we go from here? What are the topics we got? Nick, I appreciate all the insight, man.
We all get Nick's business card and make sure that.
I haven't looked on X to see what are people talking about.
People are talking about reparations, of course. Reparations with Pepe. Day number 2.
Quite well today, so I don't know. I have a feeling we're gonna break the day on here in a second.
Do we do a sports break again now? Beaver's here.
We can do a little bit of football. I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes or 2 minutes. I don't know.
Football is structurally white racist, obviously.
Who's that?
I mean, we can ask Nick that. Usually we do have that conversation with Nick on how he's feeling about the future of the NFL.
Let's check to see what they're talking about on Chatter real quick.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the midterms and what's going to happen in the future of the country, because if my party regains control of any of the branches of government, I'm a little concerned about what's going to happen, because I think what Trump is doing is he's creating a corrective to some of the excesses of my party, very weird excesses, both politically, economically, legally, and culturally. Particularly over the cultural institutions, which seem to have been inspected and ideologically captured. So that's something that's really, really interesting and important to me. I don't know if it is to anybody else.
What the fuck did you just say?
How do you get all of these people out of the media, and how do you get them out of the universities? I mean, the problem is, if you look just like in the 2010s, what percentage of the media, first of all, it went largely female. A lot of the editors, editing boards, and the staff at many of the largest newspapers, that was kind of ties into its own problems. You can look that up. But if you look at, like, for example, at universities, I'm sure you guys have seen it's been like this for decades, but it used to have.
Call may be recorded. Please hold while we connect your call.
I can place an order for pickup.
Okay.
Can I place an order for pickup?
Of course. What's the name for the order?
John?
What can I get you?
Can I get a medium pan pizza? Old world pizza?
Alright.
And can I get a garlic?
What would you like on?
Can I get garlic and Italian sausage?
Alright. Anything else?
Can I also get an Italian salad with chicken breast?
Alright. Anything else?
That's it.
Alright. Your order should be ready to pick up in about 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, actually, I'm sorry. Can you change it to the chopped salad with chicken?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, great.
Okay, I just remembered, make it like 5 minutes, just because the can be supposed to take longer.
Okay, great. See you in 45.
per se on policies or positions that he's taken
No,
in
he
order
didn't
to
say
try
that
to
at
make?
all. He said that it's going to occupy his time. It's going to occupy Congress's time. It's
Right, wait, then if it's going to occupy Congress's time,
we
how
have
does
other
it?
things to get done, don't we? Like
Jesus Christ, Lord, you're so derailing.
No, I'm not trying to derail. I'm literally trying to like connect the dots here. How on God's green earth do impeachment proceedings in the House of Representatives, or even the Senate for that matter, take up the president himself's time?
Because it takes time, because he's got to address the charges. I mean, that could be obvious.
When and where does he get the opportunity to address the charges?
Immediately, he's got to mount a defense. The impeachment is like being charged. Who is he going to defend against the charges that the House brings against him?
That opportunity is not available to him.
Yes, it's.
Wait, under what?
I don't think you understand.
Under Trump 1, hold on, under Trump 1 when he was being
Yeah, his
impeached.
counsel. Do you remember his counsel that was there?
No, at what point did Trump have to go to a hearing to defend himself against the impeachment
He
charges?
has his lawyers. What is wrong with you?
Wait, what does that have to do with him?
What, you think you just sit around and your lawyers are working for you and you don't engage with your attorneys as they're representing you? You don't think you're involved in your defense? Are you kidding me?
How is this going to take up an ample amount of his time such that it's going to prohibit him from doing his job as the executive in chief?
It's going to tie up Congress. It's going to tie up our president. And it's going
to tie up Congress, but not him.
Yeah, well, that's an arm. I don't know if you know this, but it's one of the three branches of government.
Yeah, it's not part of the executive branch. It's a separate branch.
Nobody said that they were. I said it's going to constitute.
You're completely inflating. You're being a fucking shady Jew, dude, and I don't like it because I'm an honest man. And it's guys like you that give guys like me a bad name.
Wait, there's nothing shady. I just said I posed a question. What happens if the Democrats win the midterms? They take control of the House of Representatives, and they continually impeach him. That's going to be friction against the progress of the government. At the very least, the House of Representatives and the executive branch, because they're going to be fighting it out. They're going to be battling. And that's what the branch doesn't
get to battle with them.
Yeah, they do. They have to defend themselves. That's the battle. It's weird that you don't know this. Like you didn't know what the carried interest rate was either. I think there's a lot of not knowing in your case.
Florida, you don't think that this guy's up Trump to do his agenda? Is that what your claim is?
What? No, the claim from Mayoral was that impeachment proceedings are going to be so inhibitive upon the president himself's time and energy that he's not going to be able to do his own job. Yeah, owner's good word for it. That he won't be able to do his own job that he is constitutionally responsible for.
Florida.
And my point
You forgot the first two
standing
impeachments.
You
don't think that would have drained resources in this first administration? It's weird.
Constitutional
It's
duty
weird.
that you have to make that your first priority, regardless of what the House is doing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. Monica, go ahead. What were you saying there, Monica? No, she's down the bottom. Down there. Come on, you guys, don't do that to Monica.
You know Monica didn't have anything important to say.
Of course I didn't, and I don't have any evidence of his short history in the first two sham impeachments that the Trump administration had to survive during his first administration that yielded such a drain on his administration that it impaired 2 years of his job. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, it's simple, quite frankly. If the charges are silly, and if the charges don't hold any weight, if the charges don't hold any water at face value, then they shouldn't have to maintain a lot of his time. They shouldn't have to be onerous. But when the charges are substantial and credible and reasonable, then yes, it's going to require the lawyers to put in a lot of time, effort, and energy to try to circumvent and de-escalate and try to mitigate these charges, right? However, like if the charges are as asinine and belligerent as a lot of MAGA supporters would like to assert that they are, then it's no skin off of his back. But the problem here is that the charges are reasonable, and they do hold water, and that they are credible, and because of that, that's why
It's all day, constant. You've never been through a legal matter and understand the stress that a person goes through. It is completely taxing whether you interact with your lawyer an hour a day or more than that. Just the distraction from your life when you go through a serious legal matter. Come on, yeah.
You sound like you're stressing just thinking about it.
There's more because it was done deliberately in the time
I need testosterone replacement therapy because it sounds like you're stressing over the mere thought of what somebody else has to go through.
It was done in a deliberate time waste there.
And that's a sign
It
of
sounds like you're deaf. I think you have a sign of low hearing. It was done in a deliberate time.
With the full knowledge that because the charges were absurd and because the Republicans held the Senate, they were never going to be the charges were never going to be upheld and he'd never be removed. It was a deliberate time waster. There were nuisances over nonsense like this phone call that he had with Zelensky or the January 6th riot or whatever you want to call it.
El Normo, in fact, I think most knew that they weren't going to get an impeachment on him in that form in the Senate. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course not.
so this was all designed to obviously be a thorn in his side during his presidency. I mean, I don't think that's like a totally radical.
No. There's another position that could be taken here. There's another position. Do you guys just want to suck each other's dicks, or can somebody disagree?
It was pure harassment. They were just sued.
So check this out. Okay, I agree with that. And I get a chance. Okay, Scott, you're new to the stage. Welcome to the stage. And Amari, welcome to the stage. Good evening, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Very, very wise, educated person who always has a lot to offer.
Do you want to apply? Do you want to apply?
I mean, I think that it's absolutely right. An impeachment process would slow Trump down. That's what the founders had in mind when they had divided government in mind. I mean, I think the founders thought that divided government will work just because the branches were adversarial, but that doesn't work now, right? I mean, we don't really believe in that. So if one party controls both the executive and legislative branch, or right now basically functioning all three, then there's no checks and balances, right? Whether it's Democrat or Republican, right? So what we've done is we've transferred, against what I think, we didn't, I mean, this happened well in the 19th century, but it's just gotten worse. So now, the only way you get what the founders intended is divided government, because I don't know that, I think checking Trump in any way possible would be good, and I do think there are impeachable offenses. And I think, the amount of profit he's making off the presidency, like the Bitcoin stuff, and something doesn't go their way, then they buy a bunch of Bitcoin or they invest in the Bitcoin company, then it goes their way. I think there's stuff there. I think there's stuff to be investigated.
So I would like to jump in and say I think if we're talking about impeachment, he hasn't done anything that deserves impeachment, especially not the Bitcoin. Like he always talks about, and people always talk about how Lincoln had a desk for his business and a desk for the presidency.
It's Washington. Who says that about?
Yeah, it's Washington. Sorry about that. A couple of cut waters in. I might be off on here, but charge my mind, not my heart. So with that being said, he hasn't done anything. A president can actually have a business as long as he's not selling out America. So he would need, Scott, just not your opinion, he would need actual facts to say he did X, Y, Z, sold secrets to, let's say, Qatar, and then in return, Qatar bought X, Y, Z from his son's businesses. And if you can't point and actually connect those dots, you're just someone with TDS.
Yeah. Well, then I don't have TDS. I actually think Trump's entertaining, but I think that's what investigations are for. If it's completely pristine, right, then he'll have no problem. But this is the Congress's, this is the House's prerogative. And also, I mean, this isn't like great or not great. I'm not saying what you can impeach for anything, right? It's a political process. You can impeach Obama for a tan suit. Now, whether or not it's prudent, it's fair, but like it's well within the House's purview to do it, right? I mean,
Clinton for having
Listen to some mean I just got a question. It's like crimes and misdemeanors, though, Scott.
The way that's interpreted, though, is you know, it's a subjective progress, but you don't have to have an indictment in a state and federal level to indict somebody, right? Or to impeach somebody, right? It's a completely political process.
But Scott, I got a question for you. Do you realize that a lot of that Bitcoin business started before he became president, and he set it up? So
an indictment
you
is.
realize that he had to go through the previous guy's State Department to set it up, right? Because it's he set it up in a foreign country in Pakistan. So the previous guy could have come and said, hey, you know, what the hell are you doing here? You're doing this stuff, and you know, and there was no evidence that he was doing it for this reason at that time. And so it happens to be that people are maybe investing in those things. That doesn't mean that he's saying, oh, they invested, okay, now I'm good. Like, that's the piece that Omari is talking about. Like, they may be investing in it thinking, okay, well, if I do this, hey, the Clinton Foundation, if I give money to the Clinton Foundation, you know, I'll get credit favor. And the argument back from people was, well, I mean, there's no evidence that because they did that, that, you know, they were giving any, well, what do you mean? Like, she was Secretary of State, and she was also, well, no, there's no evidence that that was the case. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, so just because they gave money doesn't mean that that's the case. So, exactly. You know, so I think the interesting piece that, you know, these are things that I agree with what you're saying from a moral perspective. Like, you know, it doesn't make sense. It seems shady. It seems dicey. We deserve answers. Like, I'm with you on that. We deserve answers. What's going on here? Is this truly the way it seems? Like, we need an investigation. We know that he's not going to investigate himself, and no president would. But, I mean, the fact is, right, is that if you look at it on the bare facts, the fact that if he had started the Bitcoin business just before, like, right when he became president, said, hey, let's do this, or had his kids started right at that moment, or just after he got elected, that's a different story. But this was started like when he thought that there's a possibility, or at least the poll said that he possibly could be losing, right? So
maybe can I ask you a question? Didn't actually Hunter Biden's actual business partner come out and link the Bidens to their business?
Well, yeah, and not just that. I mean, look, we could hash. We've done this a million times on Hunter Biden and all that stuff.
But you don't hear Scott talking about that.
Yeah. Well, and that's a fair thing. See, you had a guy who it was in the vested interest to affect foreign policy to fire someone. And I know the argument. Oh, well, you know, if we fire the prosecutor, you know, that was what U.S. wanted. That was in the U.S. interest. So, but it just happened to benefit. I'm sure, Scott, you probably didn't know that Jim Biden was invested in a firm in 2009. As soon as Joe Biden became vice president, somehow he invested in a firm that was building homes, doing construction in Iraq, and his firm got that contract because of his last name and because it was this one, and he got a contract from the federal government and was building homes when he had zero construction background. So those things, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's right because it kept happening. What I'm saying is that, you know, if you're seeing this stuff happen, and you're in business or you're in a job and you're seeing someone else doing this, and it constantly happens, and no one seems to care, at some point you go and say, well, shit, I'm losing. You know, does it make sense for me to leverage it? Can I do this stuff? Hey, you know what? Let me set up a Bitcoin business before he becomes president. And if I become president and it helps me, great. If I don't, hey, I got a fallback plan. But all of the examples I gave you were started after the person was elected. That is shady.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Scott, do you have a rebuttal to that, or are you good?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the fact that people lost their shit over Burisma and all that stuff, which to some degree, I mean, look, people have the right to look into stuff like that. I mean, so I think if it's as pristine as we're saying, then, you know, that Trump has nothing to fear from the investigation, right? I mean, it'll be fine.
So we should investigate. So what you're saying is we should investigate everyone. Like, for example, hey, Nancy Pelosi made money right after COVID, getting COVID briefings. She should be under investigation. She should be investigation for every single class.
Hey y'all, my name is Dr. Brenda Lee Anderson, and I run for school board here.
Intelligence briefing she had, and then suddenly her stock portfolio grows. Every member of Congress and every member of government who
was making $100,000 before they came into office, and suddenly are multimillionaires while they're in office, or their families are worth $1 million should be, I mean, according to your logic, right? Because somehow it looks like something is there. We would be doing investigations every day that's all we'd be doing.
We wouldn't pass anything. Like, let the people make money, unless you can do what they did with the guy from New Jersey, Menendez, and you can find the gold bars and all that other shit.
Omari, you know what's shady about Menendez? I just gotta say this, okay? Menendez was under investigation under the Osama administration, okay? And in 2015,
unless you can do what they
was doing, he was under investigation. It went into 2017, right? It was under the radar. Like most of the media did. I mean, local media did in New Jersey and stuff, but other places didn't really cover it. And then suddenly, Trump becomes president, and he starts coming out to the microphone, using and saying that Trump is going after me because he's scared of me and all this stuff. And suddenly he starts getting media traction, and then suddenly somehow he gets out of it, or he doesn't get scathed. And in that it was about foreign intelligence, but he somehow got out of it. Right, he got out of it, and okay, fine, he got out of the whole thing, fine, he was cleared, and then suddenly we find out he was trading secrets for gold bars and keeping them in his thing. And by the way, the guy didn't go to jail, right? He just got straight. He had to resign from Congress and leave, but he was hesitant to do it. Dems took a long time to come and condemn him for it, but he was on foreign intelligence committees even after the first thing that occurred, and still continued doing it, thinking he could get away with anything because they had the Senate. They won the Senate during the midterms of the first Trump administration. I mean, it's ridiculous, this kind of stuff. But there was no investigation, by the way, Scott, into him. I mean, there was a DOJ investigation, but nothing that's really public. And you can't find all the testimony that he gave. His testimony is sealed because it's talking about secrets he shared with allies of ours. I mean, it's incredible.
It's a difference that the press, the liberal press, will focus on Trump as a real estate developer and the relationships in the Gulf region, and his golf courses and his hotels and investments in the kingdom and such. He's had those investments. He's been involved in that business. Kushner's been involved in that business. The fact that he has a relationship, I mean, they'd have to have evidence to show that was leverage.
Abby, there is one shady thing that the Trump team has done, and I will be honest and fair on this, is when Trump took office, just before he took office, 2 weeks before he took office, his sons invested in a company that does like defense type work, okay? And research. Right? Yeah, with the drones, right? So they got involved in that, right? And that company was given a huge DOD contract, and and foreign countries were also investing, and they, and so they got into it. Now, what you have to prove to go with what Omari said is that this company, when I researched it, they had already submitted several bids before the family got involved. Now, I know the bidding process better than probably anyone in this room. Whether they made the decision before they came aboard and didn't announce it till later, or they were going to go with someone else, and then suddenly the Trump family's aboard and they make the decision for him, is the question. But that's usually done through Inspector General, who will come and say, hey, there was undue influence. He may not call them out, but he'll say there was undue influence. And the GAO, and I believe that case is going in front of the GAO, I think it's February, if I'm not mistaken, but it should be going in front of there. So we'll find out if that's really why they got it, or, and we'll see. We'll see in that bid process. But that is probably the only one that I would say looks really, really dicey, because it happened just before. And hey, what was the intent of the brothers in doing that? I can call a spade a spade. I just don't hear anyone doing it with Joe Biden. Oh, well, they're always making excuses, saying that, and no one wanted to investigate him or doing it.
Can I ask a question to the people on the stage, including Abby, or maybe
I was going to ask, how many people Trump watches? I just noticed that.
I wanted to buy one. I need to buy one. But I was going to ask some people on stage, does anyone have an issue with presidents making money while in office? I don't. I don't care if Barack Obama made money. I never thought that was an issue.
I think the blind trust thing is a great thing, which previous presidents in recent memory have done. I think it's a great idea. seems reasonable.
Did Jimmy Carter separate himself from his peanut farm? I don't remember, like historically, Scott, maybe you remember.
But Trump has a blind trust. Hold on. Trump has a blind trust. So what Scott doesn't. He has some kind of evidence.
He says, no, he says that he like basically said, I'm not involved in the businesses anymore. My kids are doing it. Like that's he's not a blind trust. He said that I'm just. So we have to take his word for it. That which is we can like we have to take his word for the fact that he's just stepped away from the businesses, which like that he doesn't insult and they don't say, hey Dad, if we gave this person a sweetheart deal, this would be if we did this possible. Like we just have to take his word for it that there's no communications like that with the family. Which is what he's at. That was his answer. Like, I'm not running the business. I'm running the business.
So the exact thing is, you're right that he didn't put in a blind trust, but his business holdings and financial assets have been placed in an irrevocable trust managed by his adult sons, Don Jr. and Eric, alongside company executives. And it says daily operations and management are held over to the sons and executives rather than an independent arm, but he retains financial ownership and financial interests in his companies and real estate, meaning he knows what assets he owns. A true blind trust requires liquid assets to be sold off and managed completely independent third party without the official's knowledge criteria. It also says that it's very difficult to get those assets back once it's in a blind trust. Very difficult. And if you're setting up generational, this is something very important. If you're setting up generational legacy, it's very difficult to move things out of a blind trust into the generation after a certain period of time. So it could be that Trump says, hey, if I do this, then I'm screwing my generations and doing my family, screwing my family. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, that, hey, it should be a blind trust, but shouldn't his future and what he worked hard for before he became president, shouldn't that be protected as well? Scott, do you agree?
You put it in an irrevocable trust, probably, like I was talking before about a self-settling spendthrift, which he's domiciled in Florida and probably did.
No, it's irrevocable, not irrevocable.
It is revocable?
Okay, it's revocable. So he did it so that he can, because when he gets out, what's he gonna do? And what's his kids gonna do? I mean, I don't blame him for that, because you gotta do that, and you gotta put it in that way. I mean, that's just the only way to do it, right? I mean, look, if you do a blind trust and you're a younger, good person, there's time to get out. But I mean, we don't know. He could die as soon as he leaves office. He could die while he's in office, right? And then what happens? Now you're trying to recover everything out of the blind trust. And you're trying to get it out. And that's a litigation for years. And you basically screwed your family. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah, presidents should be able to make money. I mean, I don't see any reward for Saudi Arabia or Qatar. That's like, you know what, they out here just living a great life because of Trump. So,
but hold on, but Scott, if you did do that,
that wasn't Scott, that was Amari. But
no, I know Amari, I agree with you, but I was just addressing Scott. That Scott, if you did do this plan that you're giving here, right, then you'd end up with presidents doing what Bill Clinton did, and with Hillary Clinton, which is, hey, let me set up a charitable foundation, let me screw the people of Haiti, let me get as much money as I can, let me do as much shit as I can, let me trade speeches that I'm giving you because I was a famous president. Hey, let me have Barack Obama come and speak over here, the current sitting president. Let me have the former president come over. Hey, give me money, foreign countries, give me money, right? And now you're basically sharing former secrets, current secrets, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's actually tonight, in my view, shadier. Because you know what you're doing, and look at the Clinton initiative now. No one invests. Why? Because there's nothing to gain from them. Because they're nobody. So that just tells you right there that the whole purpose of it was bad. Trump didn't do anything. He didn't go and knock down the doors, take them out, nothing. It's just nobody invests anymore because they go, hey, they're useless players. We're not going to gain anything from it. So it's clear they only invested because they thought Hillary Clinton was going to become president, and they wanted to curry favor with her in policies. That should be illegal. And she was Secretary of State, by the way, and didn't shut it down. She wasn't forced to shut it down. You're saying that Obama, as president, allowed his vice president to get his brother to get contracts, trading, basically saying, hey, I'm doing construction work. And he allowed his Secretary of State to get investments from foreign countries to an initiative that her husband is running, which has her name on it, that she can see and didn't put in a blind trust or anything. And you okay with that, Scott?
No, I'm not okay with any of it. Look, I think that there's a lot of issues with influence. I think that a lot of this stuff is a problem. Absolutely.
So investigate Obama and remove his pension as a former president, and
if there's evidence that got investigated, yeah, no problem, no problem. I think we need more transparency, not less. Yes, absolutely.
Naveen, how do we do investigations when this is what's floating around right now? Catherine Herridge has just released that the media willfully ignored the accusations of bribery with the Bidens before he was president and also during his presidency. This stuff, these files just came out that the media just willfully ignores this information.
One thing I just want to say is I hope she has like a bodyguard or something. I really do. I'm hoping she has one, because I mean she's going down dangerous territory, and some of these people on the left are going to go nuts, and some of these media people are going to go nuts. I mean, the fact is she's reporting things that are accurate, but you know the problem we're having here is we were lied to by the media. And by the way, Scott, I remember you on this app making comments about the case with Trump, with the documents case, and I was saying to you that, you know, I'm pretty sure the Biden administration was behind it. And then afterwards, when they came out and said, no, you know, there's no evidence of it, and I think in a room you fact-checked me again, saying a couple times, saying, you know, there's no evidence. Well, you should read it. Now there's evidence that Merrick Garland coordinated with the White House. They knew the time, the place, they knew Walt and Alta, they knew the other things that were there. In fact, it was the White House who said you should go after Walt and Alta. So that means that he was actually doing exactly what they're accusing Trump of doing. And, you know, but because the media deceived you, you didn't know it.
Evidence in the link, I will read it. But put it in the chat.
Yeah, Joe, can you put it? I'm just on the go, but, you know, you saw that article, so just put it.
Yeah, look, I'll bring it up. I'll make my point here. This is all chicken shit about the Trumps when it's legitimate business that they're doing. It is what it is. However, we have the Biden crime family that there's files that Catherine Herridge is discussing that the media willfully ignored reporting on any of this. So how are we ever going to get to it? It took a Republican oversight committee to even dig into what was happening during his vice presidency with the bribery going on. So making all this accusations about Donald Trump, it seems like they're playing, like the media and people are playing cover for it. It's wrong. It's overall wrong when straight blackmail is going on to the highest office in the nation. And I'll put the information up there.
I'm just posting the New York Post link right now. I can't wait for Scott to apologize because there is evidence. And, you know, I remember him saying that to me, and I was a little bit upset saying that there's evidence. And it even says Biden White House coordinated on the raid of Trump's Mar-a-Lago and then took the convo offline, ex-DOJ official said under oath. So, yeah, interesting. Poor Scott. Y'all need to get Scott when he's in Gary's room. No, Scott's okay. I appreciate Scott. Hey, Scott, when you get...
Are you guys ganging up on the one person in the room that's the disagreeing voice again?
No.
Because that's what you were doing with me earlier.
When I come after you...
the problem is that it becomes very exhausting.
I'm not a big Trump supporter anymore. What's going on?
We don't disagree with Scott. Hey, go Birds, Scott, right? Do we agree?
Exactly.
Mara, you're not a Trump guy?
We're not picking up.
Not like I used to be.
He's a good guy. We're not picking up. We're good, man.
Well, I wasn't given that. I wasn't given that level of fucking respect earlier.
That was me.
Hold on, I'm shouting.
You were taking a friend. I just spoke, and I feel like this is a mischaracterization. I have not directed anything at Scott. I'm talking about Joe Biden. I'm just joining in on a conversation here. Florida, why do you hold all this like animosity towards us when you can just join in the conversation and not be so emotional about it?
Well, that's what I do. Like 98% of the time, I just engage in a hopefully honest and genuine conversation. The problem that I have today with the room, Joe, is that a gangbang of effects where, like, I would say something and then it would get Norm and Pepe and Abby and others, several others typically, to like all kind of chime in and start like chiming in and going after me at once, rather than giving me like an honest and fair shot at dealing with everybody one-on-one. I'd be happy to take on the stage as long as I have the opportunity to engage with everybody on the stage one at a time. But it does become exhaustive when you have to deal with everybody on the stage at once. It's kind of like a man versus mob sort of situation, and the man never has a chance against an entire mob. But if you let the man deal with the mob 1v1, you never know. Maybe that man fucking knocks everybody out.
You're in the wrong room.
There's a movie, wasn't there a movie like that from the 80s? I forgot the name of it. I gotta find it.
It sounds like it should be a movie.
Yeah.
And it's only how they deal with you, Florida. Why don't you see that as you? Florida, it's only you. Why don't you see that as a reflection of you?
Because I scare people in here, obviously.
No, it's the intensity, it's the aggression, it's the domination.
That disagreed, and I was going, you know, I wouldn't say I wasn't fighting with anybody, but I was, you know, holding counter positions to people. I didn't. If I recall, when you came in, you got really aggressive, and then you started yelling at Abby and like demanding that she answer your question. And
she said she was going to answer my question.
I think at one point you called her a whore. I'm pretty sure. Wow.
Pepe, she said she was going to answer my question,
And I
she never
answered
did.
it. I answered it via my state, which I was familiar
But I had
with.
no, you never
And
answered the question.
then we had
You still
Naveen answer
haven't
it based on
answered the
his state. And
No, none of you answered the question. What was the question I asked?
you asked the percentage of DSA people that are either elected or running for office in the United States out of the Democratic Party. That was,
And what was the percentage that you gave me?
and I knew in my state how many, and then Naveen was able to share what he knew in his state.
What was the
Involved in our state's politics. Hey, Kitover's in here. Do you know in Illinois the
What
amount?
was the percentage that you gave me?
Yeah, but that's the point. You
never gave me a percentage.
Yeah, so why did she have to do the math for you? Why can't you go search it out?
She didn't have to. She could have stayed here on mute. Nobody asked her a question. The question was posed to Joe. Joe had already had a Gemini conversation open. Joe had already made the claim that there were over 210 some odd fucking DSA candidates that were like running for office or something to that effect. And my question to Joe was like, what percentage of candidates does this actually represent in both like the national and the smaller scales that he had mentioned? And the question was posed to Joe specifically because he had already had the Gemini conversation open.
You wanted to pull the room and insist, instead of doing a simple search, you would have known in 30 seconds if you just went and figured it out. You wanted somebody to spoon feed it.
Joe already had the information open, so I wanted to know based on the numbers that he was providing with the Gemini conversation that he had already
Hold on, really?
No, not by you, by Abby. I'm more offended by Abby.
Florida. Driving at the time? Wasn't I driving?
Jesus Christ.
Alright, look.
In 100
If you were driving, then why did you come up?
Look.
Timothy, hold on. I just rehashed this to tell you how, like, you just came in hot, and we don't need to have this fight over this again, and you're just, today, for whatever reason, you're just animated and like, getting worked up, a lot more so than usual. Really, it was just about the tone and your energy. It had nothing to do with shit you were saying.
Well, again, when the question was posed to Joe...
Hey, let me try and address what you're discussing here. It's just statistics. At the end of the day, your question doesn't really have, are you talking about every political position? Because I was listing from mayors, city council members, all across the thousands and thousands of cities and counties that we have across America
But I've already stated, I stated that it's only in 39 states do they even have positions. I already stated that there are more coming up, 35 that have one nominations in this cycle for 2026 midterms for Congress. So I went through the numbers. So when you say, tell me the percentage, tell me the percentage.
Yeah.
Are you like of what? Of the Democrat Party? Of which ones? Because not every position is up in the midterms either.
Right. So you want you to take the 212 and divide it by. I don't need help. I got this.
So the point of where you don't have this is you don't actually address a topic. You don't address the point. I made a point, and you never actually respond to the point. If you want to make a point off the percentage, just say it.
No,
you have to lead me down the primrose path by asking questions. Just say what your point is.
I got you, but I didn't, and this might sound clubhouse retarded, but I didn't have a point. I was genuinely curious. Okay, you said there were 200 and some odd total. You said there were 30 some odd across 39 states. And let me repeat my question again. And I thought I had prefaced, hold on, I don't need any help here real quick. I prefaced the question when I asked it. I'm genuinely curious. Don't mean to be leading down a primrose path. Don't mean to be asking leading questions. I'm just genuinely curious because, like, it might make a difference in the totality of the grand scheme of things. What is the percentage of the total Democrat politicians, nominees, elected officials, specifically amongst Democrats, though, when compared to other total Democrats, what's the percentage of the DSA candidates and nominees and elected officials?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I know you couldn't.
How many total Democrat politicians are on it?
Joe, that's why I wanted you to just plug it into your Gemini.
There's no way for me to know this.
He already curated the Gemini chat.
Can I talk? Okay, if we go back to that segment, and we shouldn't land too long on this. We had a great conversation going on before you came in here and rudely interrupted us. I literally told the room the actual prompt I put into Gemini. I said what it was, and you clearly could have done that yourself. When I give you what the prompt is, I know Gemini is free, and you can use it and do it yourself. Why didn't you?
Because you had already curated a conversation with Gemini that had given you numbers, etc. And all I was asking you to do was to simply ask one follow-up question. What is the percentage of the Democratic Party do these DSA candidates represent? And it wasn't, I mean, I could have, yes, but the problem really became a problem for me when Abby thought that she was going to come off the mic and say, let me answer the question, and then proceeded to go on a monologue and never mention a single number, nonetheless a percentage.
I mentioned my statement.
Wait. How would you have known that the number's right?
She never mentioned any number.
No, but how do you know what Joe's telling you is right if you're not going to look it up yourself?
I would have taken him at his word because I believe Joe to be an honest arbiter. I would have trusted him.
Joe just...
Alright.
There are many positions. There are many positions throughout the... There are many positions.
Abby, I know you want to respond. Hold on. Okay, this is what he's trying to do. He's get in here, center himself, control the conversation, talk about it. Just know what the issue really occurs here with him is that he doesn't really want to have an honest conversation with us about it because Abby was responding genuinely about her life experience. Let me just finish. We have conversations in here. She was genuinely giving her take on what it's like dealing with, in her state, and how many DSA members have won nominations and are slowly taking over the Democrat Party, and she's giving an account of it, okay? So she's quote unquote she's adding to the conversation, okay? You're not adding to the conversation. You're just trying to fight with us because you want to prevent the conversation from happening. I feel
She shouldn't have said she was going to answer the question.
And with that said, Joe said it well. That shit dead, man.
Thank you.
She should have never said that she was going to answer the question.
Y'all talk about this shit for the last 15, 20 minutes, bro. That shit dead, man. Get back
Thank
to the
you.
topic, bro.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to hear that shit no more. Respectful.
What's more important from it is the issue that they exist and that they're coming to a school board or a mayoral position or a state legislature near you. That's the point we were trying to make. And what's also important to know when you try to get the statistics is we have many positions that are not, that people run nonpartisan. It doesn't mean that they're not part of it, but they don't declare a party when they're running. Including our district attorney, our mayoral
Yeah, most
position.
states are that way.
Can I finish? So it's sometimes a hard number to distinguish because the actual person in office has not declared a particular party, even though you know that they came from the Democrat or the Republican Party initially. However, I was giving my anecdotal, what I experienced in my state,
DSA means that they're a member of that club.
how they had taken over our state Democratic committee and the issue that our federal representatives had with them controlling the state Democratic committee and what transpired. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about our state house and the work we were dealing with. However,
The question that you said you were going to answer.
the bigger issue is that they exist. Thank you, Timothy, for letting me say that.
Let's move on.
The bigger issue is that they exist. That is some Nazi rhetoric right there. Look, it's not that
I want to say something.
it's not that the Jews are here. The bigger issue is that they exist.
Timothy speaking, come on, brother. Timothy, go ahead. Set the topic, Timothy. Good work. All right, man. So, honestly, I'm at work right now, man. I've been listening to y'all conversation, man. It's been a good conversation. It's been done for the last, I'm going to say 15 to 20 minutes. Gonna be some out-centered, Florida heavy. So, I don't really have too much to say. I just want to continue listening, but that shit dead, man. Talk about something else, bro.
Go ahead. Go back to your echo chamber.
Can we talk about the election fraud?
So,
Can we talk about the election
real quick, Naveen, I put the number in the chat for Florida. I hope that should answer the question. There's only 4 running. That's 0.92% out of the 435 members.
I appreciate you, Omari. Thank God for Omari.
I can't believe we can't get off this. That wasn't even the point I made. We talked about throughout all of the country, okay? And that's not what the percentage is in relation to the conversation we had. You weren't here, Omar.
Yeah, I'm so sorry I brought this up. I answered him why he thought we were just being argumentative because he had a so-called different point of view, but like I did not think we were going to rehash this.
Let's talk about election fraud. Okay?
So coming to a state near you, so we can talk about all our different states and the voter rolls and the election.
Yeah, because I was told, because Abby, I was told, or anyone on this app, I was told before, Donald Trump is delusional. In fact, I think Florida and others said it too. There's no evidence of voter fraud. I said, and I did this whole room where she went after me and was making all these comments. I said, the biggest problem is the registration. There is no registration issue. He was shouting and all that. There is no registration issue. I said, there is. There's these people, if they were registering, wouldn't they have found them? If they were, I said, no, dude, you're telling me that people register, and I said, yes, and I went through it, and I said, the solution is to upload, and force them to have to upload proof of citizenship, so that in the back end it does it. He said, there's no evidence, provide me evidence. I said, it's there. Well, see, you can't provide anything. Now there's evidence, so I'm waiting for Florida to come and say, hey, you guys are right, there is evidence that this is being done. I'll wait. Let me get off talking. We have witnesses, so go ahead.
It's a problem, though. People are namely Jared Kushner. He was registered in New York and New Jersey.
Actually, I must say I am guilty as charged. Coming from the great free state of Florida, now living in the Tejano state of Texas, I am guilty of being registered in 2 states at the same time. The issue is, hold on, Naveen, I haven't finished. No, I haven't finished. No, stop deflating. No, you're scared now. You're scared. Stop being scared. The problem.
I said illegals being registered.
No. I myself no longer live. Yeah, let me explain. I myself no longer live in the state of Florida. However, the state of Florida has not yet cleaned up its voter roll to take me off of it.
Here's the thing I think that
This guy goes nuts when Abby doesn't answer his
I'm illegally registered in Florida because the state of Florida has taken me off of their vote. Voter roll.
registered. Here's what's wrong. Illegal.
Can we have this yell again? We're yelling. Something that.
I mean, it's ridiculous. When the guy comes to me and chastises Abby for not responding to this question, I say illegals, and then Scott gaslights by saying people registered in 2 places. I said there's proof that there's illegals who registered, and then they gaslight. I mean, it's gaslight. Right, so what about illegals?
I would just say this. I wasn't gaslit. If you felt gaslit, if you're tender, I apologize. I thought the conservatives were strong stuff. I gaslit. I never really gaslit.
When you're trying to say that Jared Kushner did it, and you're trying to
I was kidding. I didn't know you were tender. I'm sorry, I was kidding. I apologize.
You apologize. Let's move on.
About illegals. Undocumented folks. It's demonstrably proven that undocumented folks have a lower crime rate on average than natural born citizens. Lots of studies. Which makes sense, right? If I'm here, well, let me finish. If I'm here illegal, okay, I don't want to roll a stop sign, right? Because I'm enjoying making the money. I don't want to get sent home. So you're saying I'm watching my notice that I don't get caught, but I'm so politically active and so motivated that I'm going to go commit that crime when I'm trying not to. I'm going to put myself on the radar doing that. I think that's spurious, but maybe it happens. But I just don't think people that are trying to stay off the radar in the shadows are going to say, oh, you know what? Let's fucking go leave the rest. I don't think that's going to happen a lot.
But I have a problem with borders, like the free state of
Walking the border illegally already sets you up as a criminal. Start with.
The free state of Florida claims to be very responsible and due diligent over their voter rolls. I haven't lived in Florida for 3 years, but for some reason I'm still registered in the state of Florida to this day, and I'm getting text messages from James Fishback's campaign as a result of it. And if the Republican Party, I'm getting text messages from the campaign. Stop. The James Fishback campaign is saying, hey there, Mr. Florida man. I know you're a registered libertarian in Florida. Today is the last day for you to register as a Republican to vote for me. And it's like, wait a second. How is James Fishback getting my phone number if I'm not supposed to be registered to vote? I shouldn't be registered to vote because the state of Florida is supposed to be responsible enough to take me off of their voter roll because I no longer live in the state.
For the same reason that I get messages about people in Pennsylvania that are running, and that what exists as stats and history within the state party, and what lists are being given for now text messages, or used to be snail mail, it's completely different than I asked you, did you receive a ballot in the mail? Because if I
Florida man. Are you ever going to change the Texas man? No, I can't. You can take the man out of Florida, but you can't take the Florida out of the man.
So I'm confused. Did you register to vote in Texas?
Yeah, of course I did. It was one of the first things I did within the first like 90 days of living here.
And have you voted in Texas since you registered to vote?
I did. Multiple times.
Did you vote for Trump in 2024?
I did, unfortunately.
Did you notify your county about deregistering? You're supposed to do.
No, I never notified the county or the Secretary of State or whoever oversees all of it. I never reached out to the state of Florida proactively and said, hey, I no longer live here. You need to unregister me. That's not supposed to be my responsibility.
Change your driver's license to Texas?
Yes, I have a driver's license. I have all of the fucking legal things necessary to live in Texas. And I haven't lived in Florida for 3 years.
How many people live in Florida?
I understand it. I'm still looking it up. I haven't gotten there yet.
I think it's hard to get the register. I think they do it, like, don't they do it, like, so often, especially around census time? I don't think they have, like, some AI system that actually says, Florida man left yesterday, let's go ahead and remove him off the vote. It doesn't work.
Well, according to Republicans, it's supposed to work that way. They're supposed to be auditing and checking in every once in a while and being like, hey, does this person still live here? And if not, we should be taking them off the voter roll.
It's exactly what happened in my state. It took a while to finally get Democrat Secretary of State to clean up the transient. Actually, it doesn't happen automatically, but we push for it.
You're chopping up. Yeah, you're chopping up. I think that's what she said. But imagine, right? Like, you know, if someone moves tomorrow to, let's say, Maine or something, right? I can imagine it's gonna take years for the system for someone to actually go in here and catch up. That would be amazing if they were able to do it in real time. I hear what you're saying, Florida, but I just don't see it working that way. But to Abby's point, did you receive a ballot? And that's where you start to ask your question.
The state of Florida doesn't proactively send out ballots to everybody that's registered to vote. So no,
That makes
I
it a
didn't
safer-
receive a ballot.
Right, so it makes it a safer voting system than a system where everybody gets a ballot regardless of where you. And then now,
I agree with that. I think sending out ballots ad nauseum, point blank period, to every single registered voter is kind of an insane thing to do. Number one, it's a waste of paper at the very least. And at the worst case scenario, it does open you up to the opportunity for like John Smith's dead or like late granddaughter to fucking vote on his behalf. It does open up the opportunity for some other guy named John Smith that may have somehow accidentally received John Smith others ballot to vote on his behalf thinking that it's for him. Like,
perspective for almost, I don't know now, maybe 16 years, and there are times where people come and vote, and they're just not in the voting, they're not in the poll book. And you have to call, I have to call the Board of Elections, I have to call my commissioner will check, and that's usually what happens. So what they do is they follow like this procedure. So first it has to be, it's usually a period of 4 years. So if you haven't voted, that's why it's important to vote in your midterm, your special elections, because as long as you're active voting, then you're fine. But what will happen is they can't just remove you for not voting, period. But what usually happens is a period at 4 years, and they'll send you some sort of like confirmation, like confirm that you still live here if you haven't voted. And if for some reason they have some idea to believe, they'll just remove you. And I can't tell you the first election was President Obama.
That's not federal stuff.
No, it is federal. It is federal. Hold on, it is. The 52 USC. Go look it up. It is. Don't tell me. I was like, it is under the National Voter Registration Act. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but be fair, hold on. And all of it, to Dr. Is it considered a red state or blue state that you're looking at? So,
very, very.
It's hard to
Well, if it's a federal law, it's federal.
I've only been an elections inspector in one state. Well,
If it's a federal law, Joe, it shouldn't matter whether it's a blue state because it's federal law.
it should, but we know that blue states.
No, this is a hypothesis. This is an assumption.
It should be followed. We actively know states, we just found out New Jersey, ridiculous, we know California. So we know there are some states now, that's the right it's bad balance. Not only does it open up for it's actively open.
Well, I mean, same as an elections inspector here, I'm sure you can verify that people have gone to vote, and they're just not in the poll book, and they haven't voted for many, many years, and they're just not there. Why? Because the poll calling will just take you out, and you have to reinitiate.
You have to re-register. I mean, that's happened.
Yes, ma'am.
It happens to people in New Jersey. It happens here. The problem is the registration process when it's done through the DMV. And so you're checking off a box affirming that you're a U.S. citizen. And people just, sometimes there's a language barrier and they just check all those boxes. And that affirmation is all they have. And they're supposed to then check it, but it's not always checked. And that's what we were talking about this a year ago. That was what was happening here in my state. I forget which election cycle. And they actually had the press out interviewing these people that were non-citizens that received the automatic ballot in the mail. And they were registered to vote. They could have signed it, put it in. You question whether that is be treated as a provisional ballot, just all through the system. You hope that it would not be caught as provisional and that they'd have to cure it and reach out to the people.
So I want to add to that, in this check process only occurs when 2 cycles of not voting happens. You have to register. Then
they didn't know that.
I know it's sat in my mailbox for about 4 days. Didn't check my mail when I took them. So anyone can just want them to take it. I don't know what I did. Just sell it away.
Only to be topped by then you get the ballot and you don't get around to mailing it in till the day of the election. And they have to wait to make sure they have all the ones that were mailed out that allegedly postmarked the day of the election to then finally count the votes. And then the ones that they can't read the postmark, they're still counting even though they are looking at it a week after the election. They don't know for sure that it was postmarked the day of the election.
You mean the probably 2025? Is it really? They're the best. No, but Scott, that's not the fraud we're talking about. We're talking about the ballot harvesting and the dead people getting voted for. Yeah.
I just address
Let me address this. Scott, do you speed? Scott, how many times do you speed and how many tickets have you paid for speeding? Just because people are caught doesn't mean it's not good.
To stop it. We could just unless they happen 39,000 times out of a million times.
God, you forget that your state was also the state of Bucks County that told people they couldn't vote at the paper polls when early election was ending, and it had to have an emergency case to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court to reopen the polls in Bucks County, which was probably the most determinative and important county in the state that was basically going to determine the election. And you forget all the other issues that have happened with voter intimidation in West Philly, with the Black Panthers showing up at the voting polls, guns. That's your state of Pennsylvania, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, you guys are fucking vigilantes. No, dude, Pennsylvania is nothing but vigilantes trying to impose voter suppression and intimidation.
The only thing I'll add to Abby's is, so we'll hear there's no evidence of widespread election fraud, there's no evidence of what, it doesn't have to be.